And the West African country of Niger has banned Benin from transporting its cargo through Togo for the escalating trade tension between the two neighboring countries. Now, the Nigerian Ministry of Transport announced that the collection of Nigerian goods in Togo, including at the port of Lomé, will now be exclusively reserved for vehicles registered in Niger and Togo. The decision taken by the Nigerian authorities is believed to be affecting the regional trade, though some of the affected parties are calling for imminent resolve of the tensions. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The issued decree by the Niger government means Beninese vehicles will be barred from operating on the corridor between Lomé port in Togo and various locations in Niger. According to the decree, transportation of goods along this corridor is exclusively reserved for vehicles registered in either Togo or Niger. The move by the Niger government adds tension to an already complex situation for regional logistics stakeholders. However, is this decision an act of reciprocity?
I will say that it is an act that demonstrates the difficulty our countries have in acting diplomatically and sovereignly. What is certain is that Benin wants to move towards resolving this conflict. I remain convinced that at some point, the two parties will go to the negotiating table. After all, geography and history unite our two countries, and we can only cooperate together.
Following the lifting of ECOWAS sanctions against Niger, Benin reopened its port to Niger. The de facto is, Niger has opted to use the port of Lomé to transport its goods via Burkina Faso. The decision directly impacts freight transport companies with trucks registered in Benin, signaling the end of a previously available, albeit costly, alternative.
Niger's decision is a policy of double standards. It is true that the regional conventions prohibit trucks registered in one country from loading goods from another country into a third country. But we all know that when the port of Cotonou was open in Niger, Nigerians sent Togolese and Ghanaian trucks to load their goods in our port to Niamey. But we let them do that.
Despite the lifting of ECOWAS sanctions, Niger has maintained its border closure, citing concerns over the presence of French military personnel in the neighboring countries. Many are hoping for a swift, effective resolution to the crisis.
I believe that each of our two countries bears responsibility for the rise in tensions. Niger and Benin are two countries with a long-standing relationship, united by shared cultural, religious, and trade ties. It is my concern that Benin will not comply with the Nigerian authorities' request to expel these so-called French soldiers. Benin is also a sovereign country with a legitimate interest in maintaining internal security, just as Niger is concerned about protecting its national territory.
While Togo may emerge as a viable alternative, doubts persist over whether it can fully meet Niger's consumption needs. Niger's official entry into the club of African oil exporters means there is a need to address the additional demand for logistics services. This would require companies from Burkina Faso, Ghana, Togo, and even Niger to ensure the long-term viability of operations.